Hello everybody, Internetator back again with another video. Alright, my tennis friends around the world, it is time for the quarterfinal stages. We had 128 players in the draw when this event started, the French Open 2025, 10 days ago. Now we have only 8 left men standing out of 128 players that started the field, that started the tournament. We are at the quarterfinal stages. Out of my 8 tennis players that I had on my top 8 favorite list, 4 of them are still left in the draw, and those four are my top 4 players. My number one favorite calls Alcaraz. My number 2nd player Jannik Sinner. My number 3rd player Novak Djokovic, and my number 4th player Lorenzo Musetti. The other 4 players that I have in my list, they have all crashed out. Sebastian Korda, Alex de Minaur, Soren Dulot, and Casper Ruud. Alright, without any further ado, let's start this video. We will start with the Wednesday's quarterfinal matches, and the Wednesday quarterfinal matches I believe will be Frances Tiafoe versus Lorenzo Musetti. Yeah, Musetti I expect to see here, but I didn't expect to see Frances here. Frances, who has had a disaster of a clay court season, but he has had a great draw, and he has taken full advantage of that, and he has actually won all of his 4 matches without dropping one single set. Frances Tiafoe, and he's at the quarterfinal stages at French Open for the first time in his career. The same thing is with actually Lorenzo Musetti. Lorenzo Musetti has never been in this deep at the French Open. But Lorenzo Musetti is a better clay court player than Frances Tiafoe. The head-to-head is 3-2 to Frances Tiafoe. They have played each other on clay only once, and that match actually Lorenzo Musetti won, I believe 2 years ago, back in 2023, in a tough 3-setter, if I'm not mistaken. So 3-2, the head-to-head is to Frances Tiafoe, and I believe Frances has won the last 2 matches they have faced each other. So how will this go? I didn't expect to see Frances here. I actually thought that Korda will take the advantage of this weak section, because this Frances quarterfinal section is this, without any shadow of doubt, this is the weakest part and the weakest quarterfinal section. And I thought that maybe Korda will come through here. It's not that I was confident in that pick. Absolutely not whatsoever. I was not confident in that pick, but Frances Tiafoe was the player who defeated Korda in the 3rd round in straight sets, like he has won all of his 4 matches in straight sets. I think that Frances definitely can win this match. I think he can definitely do it. He hits the ball really, really good. He's a pretty flat hitter, and his ball doesn't bounce very high on this surface, because you more spin you have, you more the ball will bounce. He has a pretty good serve as well. He doesn't have the biggest swing on his racket. He has pretty short swing. So he's a great athlete, Frances Tiafoe, but according to me, Lorenzo Musetti is a player who has more variation in his game, with slice, with drop shots, comes to the net sometimes. He has more spin with his racket, Lorenzo Musetti. So I think Lorenzo Musetti will give Frances Tiafoe different looks compared to what the other 4 players that Frances has defeated so far. Lorenzo Musetti will play sometimes flat, will play sometimes with high spin, and Frances Tiafoe will not be able to hit his shots on his strike zone like that has been the case in his first 4 matches. And that's why I believe that Lorenzo Musetti will win this one. I think it will be a tough battle. I'm not super confident in Lorenzo Musetti. I'm not. I have respect for Frances' game. I really have. Even though that clay is his worst surface and Lorenzo Musetti is his best surface, I think that Frances will give Lorenzo Musetti a hell of a run for his money. So I think that Lorenzo Musetti will win this one in 5 sets. I've predicted Lorenzo Musetti to go to the semi-final before this event started, and I will not change my mind now, but I think this will be a war. I think that Lorenzo Musetti wins in 5. All right, then to the next quarterfinal match, which is between Carlos Alcaraz, my #1 favorite, against Tommy Paul. I thought that in this section, I thought that Casper Ruud will be Carlos' opponent and not Tommy Paul. But of course, I knew that Tommy Paul can be Carlos' opponent as well. I actually mentioned Tommy Paul in my preview. I thought that I would not be shocked or surprised if Tommy is in that quarterfinal match against Alcaraz, and not if not Casper is there. That was not the case with Francis. I never mentioned Francis in my preview. I never believed that Francis will go to the quarterfinal and face Lorenzo Musetti. In this one, I always had Tommy Paul on my mind that he can make it to a quarterfinal. After all, Tommy Paul is really good on clay, and he has actually won French Open as a junior many years back, of course, not now, but that should count for something at least. So now the head-to-head is 4-2 to Carlos Alcaraz advantage. They face each other on clay only once. And that match Carlos won in straight sets. So, but Tommy Paul has defeated Carlos Alcaraz 2 times at least, but that has not been on clay, but that has been on hard court. So, but he at least knows how to do it. But he, of course, has never defeated Carlos in the best of 5 sets. Never, and never on clay. So, but Carlos Alcaraz is not like Jannik Sinner, you know? Jannik Sinner is ruthless. Carlos Alcaraz, he gives you some kind of a help during matches. He can give unforced errors away. He can be up and down in his matches, but he's not up and down throughout the match, Carlos. He has his lows, but he has his highs as well. So he will invite Tommy Paul into this match. He will give Tommy Paul help here and there, and he will do unforced errors, Carlos Alcaraz, like he did in his fourth round against Ben Shelton. 43 unforced errors and 43 winners, Carlos Alcaraz. So it is not like Carlos steamrolls his opponents like Sinner does. Sinner is just looking scary, to be quite honest. More about him later. So I think Tommy Paul will have a chance here. I truly believe so. And Tommy Paul has played some really, really good tennis. Yeah, he has played a couple of 5-setters, Tommy Paul. I believe he has played 2 5-set matches so far in this French Open. He has won both of them, if I'm not mistaken. But against Carlos is just such a shot maker, such a great first punch player. Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner, for sure, the best in the world in the serve plus dynamic game. When they land their serve, nobody does a better job to put away the ball like Carlos and Sinner does. Nobody. Their first punch game is just super, super, super elite. And it is here where Carlos does the biggest damage against everybody. And it is here where Carlos also will do the biggest damage against Tommy Paul. If the rallies became longer, then Tommy Paul can have a chance here. For example, in the match against Damir Zumur, Carlos Alcaraz in the third round, on the 1 to 4 shots, he was superior over Damir Zumur, Carlos Alcaraz. He won, I believe, over 20 points more than Damir, maybe 22, something like that. But when the rallies became over 5-6 shots, Damir actually won slightly little more points than Carlos. And there, Tommy has his chance to make this, to extend the rallies. But of course, Carlos Alcaraz will do everything in his power to make the rallies short. And in that department, Carlos Alcaraz will be much better than Tommy Paul. And that's why I believe that Carlos will win this match in 4 sets. All right, that was the quarterfinal matches. The first two quarterfinal matches, which will be on I don't know, Wednesday or Tuesday. I don't know where I believe they will be on. Nevertheless, that they were the bottom section of the quarterfinal matches. Now we go to the top section of the quarterfinal matches. All right, let's start with Jannik Sinner versus Alexander Bublik. And do you know what is funny with this video? I'm gonna tell you what is funny with this video, and I'm completely honest. Jannik Sinner is actually not even played. He has not actually finished his match. Yeah, I swear to God, he has not even finished his match. I started to see his match against Rublev. He won the first set 6-1. Rublev could barely take any games. He barely took one game. And then I started to see the second set as well. I said that, you know what, I can already do a video. I started to see the second set, only 2 games, 1-1. 1-1, I saw the second set. 1-1, I swear to God, 1-1. And I said, no. I can already do a preview video about the quarterfinals matches. Rublev will not stand a chance here. He will not even take a set. Exactly what I was thinking with myself. And then I started to do a video about these quarterfinal matches. So Jannik Sinner is already playing against Rublev, but he will defeat Rublev in straight set. I'm pretty confident about that. So Jannik Sinner versus Alexander Bublik. Alexander Bublik, who has never been in a quarterfinal matches in Grand Slams, I don't believe. I cannot recall that Alexander Bublik has ever been in the quarterfinal matches in the Grand Slams. I have not actually checked this up, but if not, I trust my memory, and I cannot remember when Bublik has been in a quarterfinal match in Grand Slams. This is his first. I thought that Sinner would face de Minaur here, but thanks God that I was wrong. I don't want to see de Minaur face Sinner. Sinner completely owns de Minaur. He has defeated him in so many matches. De Minaur has never defeated Sinner. Thanks God that Bublik turned that 2 sets love down against de Minaur in the second round and won that second round match against de Minaur in 5 sets. And then then Bublik has just steamrolled everybody, and he's even won the 4th round match against Jack Draper in 4 sets, where many actually had Jack Draper going through that match. I gave Jack Draper my slightest edge against de Minaur. Against Bublik. My slightest edge. If somebody would have asked me, who do you think will win this 4th round match, Draper or Bublik, I would say, because I hate lying, I would say I think Draper will win this match. I give Draper my slightest edge. Bublik wanted something else. He did 68 winners, Bublik, and 39 unforced. He does 29 more winners and unforced. He wins 81% when his first serve against Draper. Not that Draper played bad. Draper did a solid match. Draper didn't defeat himself whatsoever. Did more winners than unforced Draper in this match against Bublik, but Bublik I don't know, maybe he's playing his tennis of his life. But now he's coming against the beast, Jannik Sinner, who seems to not know how to lose tennis matches besides against Alcaraz. Against everybody else, he's steamrolling them. Of course, he has not dropped one single set so far at French Open. He has won all of his 4 matches in straight sets. I believe he will defeat Rublev as well in straight sets. And they have faced each other 4 times. It is 3-1 in Jannik Sinner's favor. He's leading the head-to-head 3-1 against Bublik. But they have not faced each other for 2 years. Last time they faced each other was 2023, which a match where Bublik actually won. But 2023, we all know that it was a completely different Jannik Sinner. This Jannik Sinner, who seems to just blow players off the court with great power, great precision, great serving, great returning, great scrambling from the baseline. It is not. He's great at the offensive. He's great in the defensive. I'm not seeing somebody making his opponents feel this helpless since Rafa Nadal at French Open, when Rafa Nadal was at his peak. I really have not. Besides when Sinner faces Alcaraz. So Sinner will defeat Alexander Bublik in straight sets. And then the last, fourth quarterfinal is, at least what the quarterfinal that I will preview. I don't know if this will be the last one of the four that will be played. It is between Novak Djokovic, my number 3 favorite, against Alexander Sasha Zverev, who I actually didn't have even in my top 8 because I thought that he would lose against Cerundolo. But when Cerundolo lost in the first round, then I was pretty confident that Zverev will make it to the quarterfinal, and he is here now. The head-to-head between Djokovic and Zverev is 8-5 in Novak's favor. Last time they faced each other was at that Australian Open semi-final a couple of months ago in Melbourne, where Novak, after losing the first set, pulled out the match due to injury. Zverev, who likes playing on clay, when he's a former French Open finalist from last year, where he took Alcaraz to 5 sets. And Djokovic, he doesn't need any presentation. We all know who that is. The greatest tennis player of all time, who is 38 years old, but still going strong. Many of you guys thought that I was really strange that I had Djokovic as my number 3 favorite coming into this tournament. But when I saw Novak's draw, and when I saw Novak how he played in Geneva, and then he went and won that title and won his 100th title, I just said to myself, Novak has a 250 class draw in the first week. No way in hell he loses before the quarterfinal, and now he's here. Now Novak's run, now Novak's hell starts. First up is Alexander Zverev. Now, if Novak had lost in his first 4 matches, I would have been shocked. I would have been tremendously surprised. Everything that happens from now on with Novak, I will not be shocked, surprised, nothing. Because Zverev, even though he has never won a major, he is a 3-time Grand Slam finalist. He is the greatest tennis player of all time to never win a Grand Slam title. Me personally don't think that he will ever win a Grand Slam title. He had his best chance against Dominic Thiem 5 years ago in that US Open final 2020, where he was 2 points away on winning that, and where he also had the chance to serve out for the title, but he choked. Unfortunately, that was exactly what happened. And the other 2 Grand Slam finals, he has not had big chance in winning. Yeah, maybe some of you think that he was not very far away to win that French Open final last year against Alcaraz. Yeah, it was a 5-set battle, but the 4th set he lost in 6-1, the 5th set he lost 6-2. Some 5-set matches are close. Some 5-set matches are not close. The other one I can mention, that a 5-set match that was not close, was that match 2021 between Tsitsipas and Zverev and Djokovic in French Open final. Yeah, Tsitsipas won the first 2 sets, but the last 3 sets, they were not particularly close. So, and then the Grand Slam final that Zverev lost was earlier this year against Jannik Sinner in straight sets. So, hope Zverev proves me wrong. I would love to see Zverev win 1 Grand Slam title during his career. Because if he doesn't win it, he will for sure, without any shadow of doubt, become the greatest tennis player of all time to never win a major. Anyway, against Djokovic, how will this match go? Both of these 2 players can win this fight. I would not be shocked whoever wins this match. Djokovic has won all of his 4 matches in straight sets. He's not dropped 1 single set. Zverev has, I believe, dropped 1 set in his 4 victories here at French Open, if I'm not mistaken. They faced each other before at French Open. Djokovic has won that match. I think 1 or 2 times they faced each other at French Open before. Djokovic has won that match or those matches. I don't remember exactly if they faced each other 1 time or 2 times at French Open. But it was a long time ago when Djokovic was younger and more prime in his career. It is a completely different Djokovic nowadays. He's older and he's not in his prime. How do I think this match will go on? I think that I give my slightest edge to Novak. Why? I don't know. He's maybe more consistent from baseline. He maybe has a little better returns than Zverev. He plays a little more offensive than Zverev. But Zverev can absolutely win this match. But I will give my slightest edge to Novak. I will say Novak is 52% my favorite and Zverev is 42% my favorite. So I will say that Novak will win this fight in 4 sets. I will not say 5 because if it goes 5, who knows what will happen with Novak. He's, after all, 10, 12 years older. 10, 11 or 12 years older than Zverev. And maybe if the match goes to the distance, maybe Novak will show his real age. Because age, after all, is not only a number. So I will say Novak defeats Zverev in 4 sets. And does the job in 4 sets. So my predictions are the semifinals will be exactly like I said when the tournament started. I think Sinner will face Novak Djokovic in the semifinal, and I think that Alcaraz will face Lorenzo Musetti in the semifinal. Let's see if I will be right or wrong in this prediction and in this preview. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give a thumbs up, subscribe, see you next time. Peace!